All right. Good evening, traders. How are you? And welcome. Anna DeShields here with Visual Silence Technology. Good evening. Today is March 18th, 2026, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so happy that you joined me. I am going to be picking up my live sessions. You can catch me live in the evenings for Market Secrets on Monday and Wednesdays at 7:30 Eastern. And then I'm going to be also be going live scalping. Um, I got to get those days and mornings set, but that will be upcoming. So, today or this evening, we're going to go ahead. Our subject for our market structure secrets is deciding if a setup is worth taking or not. Deciding if a setup is worth taking or not. And on Monday, if you were able to join me live, it goes off of what we discussed on Monday is what happens when the market stalls, what's going on, and why do I care? So now that we know why the market may stall and why it's important for us as traders to understand what's really going on behind the scenes, then, now that we know that, well, then that's going to provide us with a trade setup. But is it really worth taking? So, we're going to explore that this evening. All right. So, I'm going to put my little glasses on here. And we'll give it about 30 seconds for people to come in. If you hear me, just confirm the audio is good in the chat. Just say, audio is good. And then we'll go ahead and begin. Let me go ahead and also we have my alerts going off. Sorry about that. We got Bitcoin moving. Um, all right. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is looking in the chat for if we're good. Okay. So tonight we're talking about something that separates struggling traders from consistent traders, not finding setups, but deciding which ones are actually worth taking because because signals happen all day, but not every signal deserves risk. I'm going to show you how I personally decide if a trade is worth taking before I ever click enter. All right. So let's go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to write down the key topics that we're going to go over. I'm just going to try to pick which way I'm going to be in here. For some reason this um, it's not putting me correctly. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Actually, we need to put you on the side because I'm going to be using that side to see. Okay, we'll fix that another time. As we get going, I do more and more of these, we'll get more proficient. Okay, so the first thing I decide is not the entry. The first thing I decide is what type of trade is this? Okay, so what type of trade is this? So let's go ahead and write that down. Is this a scalp? Is this an intraday trade? Or is it a swing trade? Okay. Now I'm noticing here real quick that I didn't fill in the topics that we're going to cover. So let's go ahead and first do that. I apologize. That way up here. Okay, deciding. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is the trade type, my filters, trader mistakes, my rules. Oops. Real market behavior. And then final rule. And then our close. Final message. Okay, so that's what we're going to go over tonight. Now, back to number one, trade type. I ask myself first, is this a scalp? Is this an intraday trade or is this a swing trade? Okay. So I'm going to show you a good setup and a bad setup, and good location versus bad location. Because a scalp usually forms on smaller structure, which we already know that. Intraday has more room, and then the swing depends heavier on higher time frames. So let's go ahead and look at the 15-minute. Now we're going to look at location. Is this, if I were to go ahead and be on the 15-minute, is this trade here in a good location? Because that's very important to me. All right. And I have to take my glasses. I'm going to have to take my glasses off and on. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay. So for me right here on Bitcoin on the 15-minute, let's see here. Need to put something on here. Is this at a good location on the 15-minute? It is a good location for me on the 15-minute. Why? Because we're nice and low. It is setting up for my Exodus buy. So it is at a good location on the 15-minute. Now let's go ahead and go to the 5-minute and see if we still agree. Yes, it is at a very nice location for me. And that's because I have my Exodus buy signal firing. We are at nice levels here. And momentum is still moving up. Some traders would be a little unhappy with it being right at the top of the overbought. But for me, and I know how Bitcoin moves and the market and these different uh, indicators slash market movement, this is a good location. Then let's go see what that looks like on the 1 hour. In just a moment. Excuse me. Okay, and then on the 1 hour, is this at a good location? Let's see. Yeah, this is actually at a very nice location. I'm going to go into a little bit more of why. Okay, so that's what I do first. I want to know the first thing that I decide is this a scalp, an intraday, or a swing? Because a scalp decision is not evaluated the same as a swing. All right, now for number 2 in this lesson, my filters. Okay, after I decide on the trade type, I check 3 things. Okay, I check 3 things. Mm, And these 3 things are number 1, whoops, location of my Exodus cross. We already kind of went over that. Number 2, distance, price can move. And number 3, higher time frame levels. So, okay, after I decide these trade types, let's say I'm going to take intraday play. After I've decided that, I want to know these 3 things. Where is the location of my Exodus cross? Oh, what happened? Um, the distance price can move, or the high and the higher time frames. Where is it at in the higher time frames? All right. Location is everything, traders. If price is too close to resistance, trade quality drops. If distance has already traveled, the trade quality drops. If higher time frame levels are close as well, the trade quality drops. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So here we are on the 1 hour. This is what this would look like for me. On the 15-minute, we're getting ready to have an Exodus cross. Right here is an Exodus cross right here. So I'm looking for the same thing for the reversal back up. Um, Sorry about that. All right. Now, what I would do is, I talked about is there distance that price can move? Well, since my Exodus cross is getting ready to fire, what I do is I see how much it can move. And I would do it like this, actually. I would draw myself a fib. Okay, now I'm giving you some sauce here. And we would make this 1 hour high to low. Oh, we're on the 15-minute, my fault. These are my fib levels, and I actually have changed this information. Put it on the right. Okay. And I would see where the 5061.8 zone is, and it's right here. And I call that my heartbeat zone. So right in here is the heartbeat zone, the 5061.8 zone. So the distance for price to move is nice. There's a nice distance. So that's positive in our favor. Then I go to the higher time frames, and I see what at this location, if it were to go up to this heartbeat zone, what support and resistance levels are in my way. When it fell today, it just fell. But if we look to the left, I see we have support and resistance right here. So from here until this time it gets here, we have a lot of available movement. Okay, and then I would go ahead and measure that to see exactly how much that is to determine my risk. Okay, that's 1,000 points for that move to happen. That's a good trade there. Okay, so for me, deciding if that trade setup is good or not, um, this is so far is playing out nicely. The distance on the higher time frames for support and resistance is good, and it's looking nice and smooth. Okay. Don't forget the key location is everything, traders. Location is everything. All right. And so let me go ahead and delete this. Now, this is where traders mess up. Okay. This is where most traders mess up. They don't evaluate location. What they do is they evaluate their P&L. They're thinking, I need to make money. I may need to hit my daily goal. I don't want to miss this move. So we know, traders, that when your P&L is your focus, discipline disappears. Okay? All right, so here for us, we see that it was in a good location. Higher time frames are okay. Therefore, this would be good on my P&L if, I had a good day prior to trading today. So I am currently in a sell, but I'm in a swing trade for the sell. So this would be another trade I would take maybe in the same account. I do have a broker where I can go both ways. Or I would take it in another account where this is a really nice setup here. Um, if I wasn't teaching right now, I would be taking it. Okay, so I want to ask you, I want to challenge you, traders. Okay, let me challenge you here. Be honest. How many of you have taken a trade where you knew it was a bad location just because you wanted to hit your daily goal? Let me raise my hand. Okay, something to think about. We all know that that can come up with us. And, that's what's cool about trading and just doing it over and over again. You can find out what the common threads are for yourself as well as other traders. And, how long is it going to take you? And are you ever going to be proficient at it? Because trading, the market's always moving, even when it's stalling. We talked about on Monday, even when it's stalling, we know that after it gets done, there's going to be a move, but it might not be the best move for us. And so it's knowing how to be like, you know what, that's fine. I'll just get it later. Today, when I was scalping with my friend, we caught that move, and then we were like, okay, we didn't put as much size on it as I would have liked. She had asked me, what do you think? What do you think about that trade? And I told her it was good, but what I didn't like is that I didn't put enough size on it. So we were talking about, okay, well, then what's our re-entry? What's our next good trade setup? And it literally is off of what I just shared with you now up to this point. Location, higher time frames, are they going to allow for a good trade setup? All right. Next, is number 4, my rules. For me, every trade must pass 3 conditions. Must have room to the next level, must not be entering into higher time frame support or resistance, and it must match the trade type. If one of these things is missing, the quality drops. So let me show you what a bad one would look like. A bad one where, maybe there wasn't room to the next level, or maybe we were running it into higher time frame support. So how about this one? This looks good. This is on the 1 hour. It performed. You thought it was gonna go ahead and break this level here. It didn't. It pulled back. Let me make that a different color. It it pulled back. Oh Lord, what happened there? Okay, all right. We're looking at this zone right here, this trade right here. I'm going to put it on candles in just a second. But I'm showing you what a bad trade would look like. So here, you're going up and you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be nice. But then it pulled back on this 1 hour. And then it did end up taking off. I actually showed that wrong. Hold on, let me fix that. Okay, here, you're at this point and you get the pullback. This is at what price level is this? This is at 74,000. So you're like, "Oh yeah, she's going to go to 75." That's the higher time frame support. So what I would do is I would go to the 4 hour. Let's go ahead and mark this area. And then we go to the higher time frame and I would look, I'd be like, okay, is this a good trade for me? Because what I would be saying, I'm at 74 100, I want to go to 75. um what kind of support do I have in front of me? Nothing really, right? Unless we look at the past. If we look to the left, we got right here. So right now, I know on the higher time frames, if I was looking at that trade, that I do have higher time frame support, but I am at the top. So I'd really have to weigh on myself. Okay, what did I do for today? How can I take this trade? Is it okay for my P&L? I can hit the 75 if it's going to go ahead and give it to me. Okay. So that's a little bit more of considerations that I have to think about. Whereas if I entered down here at 71,000, that's a much better trade and has much more room to go. Same as with this location for this trade. This is a really great trade. It has a lot of room to go up, um, with a lot more probabilities than all the way being at the top and looking for the continuation to go to push up higher. Okay. And what do you guys do? What do you have as your rules where I have to have 3 conditions for this trade to be okay? What does that look like? All right, just a second. Oh, you know what? Also, I just realized I forgot to share this one thing that I need to share, and that is that this traders is for educational purposes only. Let me put that up here real quick. Um, well, I'll just tell you, traders, this is for educational purposes only, and you know that I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, next. So, what do I do when a signal appears but structure isn't perfect? Sometimes what I'll do is I'll reduce size. Sometimes I'll watch it. And sometimes I just pass. Because not every signal deserves your full risk. And I know you know that. I know you know that. I just want you to know that other traders are doing the same thing. Let me see if I can clear some of this stuff out. So let me show you what that would look like. I'm telling you, I'll have to print these notes out larger because it is such a distraction. Going from my glasses to the chart, from my glasses chart, it's very hard to read my notes. Oh, and then my mic just fell. I might have bumped it. Sometimes I reduce size and sometimes I just watch it. So let's look at an example of when I reduce size. Here it's kind of hard, right? Because it's already happened and you can see it. Let's go ahead and just pick the 5-minute. I know I have some scalpers here on watching. So let's go ahead and go to a time when the open is. Let's go right here at 10. Okay, at 10 o'clock. So what do I do when a signal appears but structure isn't perfect? Okay, so let's find that. Wonder what happened here. I don't know what happened here. Okay, right. We'll go right here. 10:15 on the 5-minute for Bitcoin. What do we do when a signal appears but structure isn't perfect? See if I can find you an example. I apologize for not having one already marked out. I wanted to try different ways when I do these YouTubes. Either already have it planned out or I just find it with you. I think it's pretty cool just find it with you because then you can see me actually walk through stuff rather than a lot of, if I already had it picked out, I might have missed certain things to talk about as I find them. You know what I mean? So here it is 10:10. Oh, that's Sunday. Darn it. That's not good. Let's do Tuesday. That was yesterday. Let's do Tuesday at 10:10. Let's do right here. Okay. The signal appeared, but structure might not be all that great. We're on the 5-minute. See if I can stay here at this location of time at Tuesday at 10 and go to the 1 hour. I think now TradingView keeps you there. Before it used to not. Okay, so let's look at the structure here. All right. Structure here is very not great. I might be watching this here. I don't like how there's a bunch of support and resistances immediately right here to our left. I got a strong EMA right here as well. Um, we're right around some strong areas of support and resistance. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. 4 hour as well. We're at strong areas of support and resistance. Looks like we went ahead and broke, or if we had a fib on here, it did a 100% retracement. So we have not great structure here. I'm going to go ahead and do a 4 hour fib, high to low. Okay, she pushed past that and then is now coming back in to retest it. She could go ahead here and bounce, come to here, come back down, and then push back up. Okay. And then the 1 hour. Now let's talk about for the buy. The sell, we got that 50 right here and the location here. So this would give me a pause, even though we have the signal to sell it, because of the things that I showed you just now would give me pause on the higher time frame. How much movement do we really have to go? As well as we have all this support and resistances here on the lower time frames were really low. She already fell a lot. This is at 10:10. A continuation would be kind of a lot. If let me give this to you on this um on the let's look at this on the 1 hour. We can share it together. Oh Lord, that's a 112. Look at that. It's been a while since I used this chart. We were all the way up there. Um, boy, I tell you, I do need to fix this circle because it's very far back. I don't think my last session was like that. Okay, let's see. Let me just reset this. So I'm showing you an example of when we may have the alert, but the structure is not ideal. Yeah. Is this right now? This is Wednesday. Oh, bummer. It didn't take me back. I tell you. This is Tuesday at 10. Saturday. Tuesday at 10. Monday, Tuesday, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right here. So it's right here. So on the 1 hour, yeah, see, it's just not great. Okay. All right. So that kind of gives you an idea there. Not great idea, even though we have the signal. It might not work out because of it's already gone a lot. And we have higher time frames where the structure is not great. But then you could always go ahead and take it with just not as much size. All right. Well, this is going to be a short lesson today. Excuse me, real quick. I'm going to sneeze. A final rule, traders. Okay, final rule. Experienced traders understand something important. Size should reflect trade quality. Location determines size. Let's say that again. Experienced traders understand something important. Size should reflect trade quality. Location determines size. So if we're up here at 75,000 and we're on the 1 hour, we have a better probability of this selling down than going back up. So since the location is very nice, your size, you'd probably increase this a little bit more. Or maybe you do 2 trades. You're like, well, it could keep going up. I don't know. Or it might go back down. And if you have a few accounts, you could take one account for if it goes up. But for me, if I took this at this location, my size is going to be considerably different. Whereas if I was, say, right here and then taking the sell, you see what I'm saying? So I have a question for you. Do you trade your process? Do you trade your rules, your trade book? Or do you trade your P&L, your profit and loss statement, your daily goals for the day? Which one are you doing? And I'm there too. I at times am not doing it right. All right. Traders, stop asking, is this a signal? And start asking, is this a good location? Good traders don't find traders. Excuse me. Good traders don't find trades. They filter them. They filter them. Okay. Good traders filter their trades, seeing if it's a good trade to take. If you want help improving decision process, information on how to get a hold of me for private sessions is available. So, tonight, traders, we talked about filtering trades. Monday, we're going to talk about one of the biggest reasons traders get trapped before good moves: liquidity grabs and market traps. All right, traders, have a good evening. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the charts. Good night.